The Sweatpants Test. Chen stood in front of her closet, wearing her radius sweatpants and a faded college t-shirt, with a mysterious stain near the hem. Her best friend Jenna watched from the bed, horrified. "You cannot be serious right now." "Dead serious." Maya pulled her hair into the messiest bun she could manage. "This is the 4th blind date this month, Jen. I'm done pretending." "But Sarah said this guy is really successful." "They're all really successful. Until you meet them and discover they live in their mom's basement and their startup is a cryptocurrency scheme." Maya grabbed her oldest sneakers, the ones with the hole in the toe. "If he can't handle me at my absolute worst, then I don't want to waste my time getting dressed up for nothing." Jenna groaned. "You're going to scare him away before appetizers." "Good. Then I can be home in time for the new season of that baking show." 20 minutes later, Maya walked into the Riverside Cafe looking like she'd just rolled out of bed after a week-long flu. She spotted her date immediately. He was the only person sitting alone, and he was not what she expected. The man stood as she approached, and Maya's resolve wavered for just a moment. He was tall, with kind eyes and an easy smile. He wore jeans and a simple button-down shirt. Nothing fancy, but he carried himself with a quiet confidence that made her suddenly very aware of the hole in her sneaker. "Maya?" He extended his hand. "I'm Alex. It's really nice to meet you." His handshake was warm, his smile genuine. He didn't even glance at her outfit. "Hi," she said, waiting for the flicker of disappointment in his eyes. It never came. They sat down, and Alex immediately launched into conversation like they were old friends. He asked about her work as an elementary school teacher, and actually listened, really listened as she talked about her students. "There's this one kid, Marcus," Maya found herself saying, more animated than she'd planned to be. "He told me last week that I'm his favorite teacher because I explain things like a normal person. I think that might be the best compliment I've ever received." Alex laughed, a genuine sound that crinkled the corners of his eyes. "That is high praise. Kids are brutally honest. The most honest," Maya agreed. "Which is why I love them. No games, no pretending." Something flickered across Alex's face. Understanding, maybe, or recognition. "I appreciate that quality, too. Authenticity is rare." The waiter came by, and Maya noticed Alex order the same modest pasta dish she chose. Even though the menu clearly featured much pricier options, they talked through dinner about everything: books, terrible movies they secretly loved, their shared obsession with finding the perfect pizza slice. "Okay, controversial opinion," Alex said, leaning forward. "Pineapple on pizza is actually good." Maya gasped in mock horror. "I'm leaving. This date is over." Wait. He was laughing now. "Hear me out. There is no defense for this crime against Italian cuisine." They argued playfully about pizza toppings for 10 minutes, and Maya realized she was having more fun than she'd had on any date in years. Alex was funny, thoughtful, and never once made her feel self-conscious about her appearance. When she reached for her water and knocked over the salt shaker, he just helped her clean it up without missing a beat in their conversation. As they were finishing dinner, Maya's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and saw a text from her student Marcus's mom. "Emergency. Marcus forgot his medication at school. Anything you can do?" Maya's heart sank. Marcus was diabetic, and she knew his family was struggling. Financially, his mom worked 2 jobs and couldn't easily leave work to drive across town. "I'm so sorry," Maya said, already standing. "I have to go. One of my students, it's a medical thing. I need to get something from my classroom. Is everything okay?" Alex's concern seemed genuine. "It will be if I can get there in time." She grabbed her bag. "I'm really sorry to cut this short." "Which school?" "What? Which school do you teach at?" Alex was standing now, too, pulling out his wallet to handle the check. "Henderson Elementary, but you don't have to. That's 15 minutes from here. I'll drive you. It'll be faster than waiting for a rideshare." Maya hesitated for only a second. Something about Alex felt trustworthy. "Okay, thank you." They rushed to his car, and Maya almost stopped in her tracks. It was a modest sedan, a few years old, nothing flashy. She wasn't sure why she'd expected something different, but it made her like him even more. Alex drove with calm efficiency, not recklessly, but with clear purpose. "Tell me about Marcus," he said. As they drove, Maya explained about Marcus's situation. His single mom, the struggles the family faced. "He's such a bright kid," she said. "Sometimes he comes to school hungry, but he still shows up every day with a smile and tries his best. I keep granola bars in my desk for him." Alex was quiet for a moment. "You're a good teacher," he said softly. They reached the school and Maya ran inside with her key. She grabbed Marcus's insulin kit from the classroom fridge and was back out in 3 minutes. Alex had already pulled up the GPS to the address Maya had texted to Marcus's mom. The apartment complex was in the poorest part of town. Marcus's mom met them at the door, her eyes red from crying. "Thank you," she breathed, taking the kit. "Thank you so much. I couldn't leave work. I would have lost my job." "It's okay," Maya said, giving her a hug. "Marcus is okay?" "He's okay. He's inside. Thank you." As they walked back to the car, Alex was quiet. Maya felt embarrassed suddenly, wondering if she'd ruined the date by dragging him across town to a rundown apartment complex while wearing sweatpants. "I'm sorry," she said. "That wasn't exactly a romantic evening." Alex stopped walking and turned to face her. "Maya, that was the most impressive thing I've seen in years. You didn't hesitate. You just helped, because it was the right thing to do." There was something intense in his gaze, something that made Maya's breath catch. "Can I be honest with you about something?" Alex asked. "Sure." "I almost canceled this date. When Sarah told me she wanted to set me up with someone, I said no a dozen times. I've been on a lot of blind dates in the past few years, and they're all the same. Women dressed up, trying to impress me, asking the right questions. It all feels like a performance." Maya laughed despite herself. "Well, I definitely wasn't performing tonight." "Exactly." Alex smiled. "You showed up as yourself. Real, genuine, not trying to be anything you're not. And then you dropped everything to help a kid without thinking twice about it. Do you know how rare that is?" "Most people would help a child," Maya said. "Most people would call someone else. Make it someone else's problem." He shook his head. "You act, you care. That's who you are, isn't it? Not just tonight, but every day." Maya felt heat rising in her cheeks. "I'm an elementary school teacher. Caring kind of comes with the territory." "It really doesn't," Alex said quietly. "I've known plenty of people who went into teaching for the wrong reasons. You're not one of them." They stood there in the parking lot, streetlights buzzing overhead, and Maya felt like the world had shifted slightly. "Can I take you home?" Alex asked. "Yeah, that would be nice." They talked the whole drive back, and when Alex pulled up to her apartment building, Maya didn't want the night to end. "I had a really good time," she said. "Despite the medical emergency and my terrible outfit and—" "Because of all of that," Alex interrupted. "I'd really like to see you again. If you're interested." "I'm interested," Maya said, surprised by how much he meant it. "Good," Alex smiled. "I'll text you tomorrow." "I'll be wearing real clothes next time," Maya promised. "Please don't change anything on my account." Maya went to bed that night thinking about kind eyes and easy laughter, feeling lighter than she had in months. The next morning she woke up to a text from Jenna. "Call me right now." "What's wrong?" Maya asked when Jenna picked up. "What's wrong?" "What's wrong? You went on a date with Alexander Hartwell and you wore sweatpants?" "I went on a date with a guy named Alex. I don't know his last name yet." "What are you talking about?" "Sarah just told me. Alexander Hartwell." "Do you not read the news? He's only the CEO of Hartwell Technologies, worth like $3 billion. The phone almost slipped from Maya's hand. "What?" "He's been on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list. He revolutionized cloud computing. He's one of the richest men in the city. And you wore sweatpants." Maya sat down hard on her couch. "That can't be right. He drove a regular car. He didn't act like—" "Sarah said he's been trying to find someone who would date him for who he is, not his money. That's why he uses a different name on dating apps and keeps his profile low-key." Maya's mind was reeling. She thought about the modest pasta, the unassuming car, the genuine interest in her students. He'd been testing her. No, not testing. He'd been protecting himself, just like she'd been protecting herself with her ugly outfit. Her phone buzzed. A text from Alex. "Good morning. I can't stop thinking about last night. Coffee later?" She stared at the message. Part of her felt deceived, but the rational part of her brain understood. He'd done the same thing she had, shown up as his authentic self, without the trappings that usually defined him. She texted back, "Coffee sounds great, but I have a question first. How rich are you exactly?" Because I should probably wear something nicer than sweatpants, if you're going to take me somewhere fancy. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, you looked perfect last night. But since you asked, I'm comfortable. Very comfortable. Does it matter? Maya thought about the man who'd driven her across town without hesitation, who'd listened to her talk about Marcus, like he was the most important thing in the world, who'd looked at her like she was beautiful even in her rattiest clothes. She typed, "Not even a little bit. See you at 2? See you at 2, and Maya, thank you for being you." They met for coffee, then dinner the next week, then a walk in the park the week after that. Alex slowly revealed more about his life. The company he'd built from nothing. The pressure, the loneliness of never knowing if people wanted him or his money. After my company took off, dating became impossible. He told her one evening as they sat on her couch eating. Takeout pizza, with pineapple. They'd compromised. Every conversation felt like a job interview. Women would laugh at my jokes whether they were funny or not. They'd love whatever I loved. It was exhausting. So you started showing up as regular Alex instead of CEO Alex, Maya said. Exactly. And it worked, mostly. I could tell pretty quickly if someone was genuinely interested in me. But no one, he trailed off looking at her. No one ever showed up in sweatpants before. Maya laughed. I was trying to scare you away. I know. Sarah warned me you might do something like that. She said you'd been burned before and you were protecting yourself. He took her hand. I just didn't expect to fall for you in the first 30 seconds. 30 seconds? I was still walking to the table. I know. You had this look on your face like you were ready for battle, defiant, brave, beautiful. He squeezed her hand. And then you relaxed and started talking about your students. And I knew I was done for. 2 months into dating, Alex asked Maya to come to his office. She'd been avoiding it, preferring their quiet dinners and walks in the park, the normal life they'd carved out together. But he wanted to show her his world. The Hartwell Technologies building was glass and steel, impossibly modern. Alex's office was on the top floor with views of the entire city. This is where you spend all day? Maya asked, turning in a circle. Most days, yeah. He came up behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist. But I've been leaving earlier lately. Someone convinced me there are more important things than work. Wow, she sounds wise. She is. He kissed her temple. She also inspired something. Come here. He led her to his computer and pulled up a web page. The Hartwell Foundation, she read aloud. I've always donated money, but you made me realize I could do more. We're starting a program to provide free medical supplies to low-income families. Insulin, EpiPens, asthma medication. Things people shouldn't have to choose between and paying rent. He looked at her nervously. Marcus was the first person I thought of. His mom won't have to worry about his insulin anymore. None of the families in your school district will. Maya felt tears spring to her eyes. Alex, you see people, Maya. You see their humanity, their struggles, and you just help. You don't think about whether you'll get credit or if it's convenient. You just do what's right. He turned to face her fully. You made me want to be better, to do more. She kissed him then, not caring that they were in his office where anyone could see, not caring about anything except this man, who'd seen her at her worst and somehow found her best. 6 months later, Alex took Maya back to the Riverside Cafe. She wore a dress this time, though she'd threatened to show up in sweatpants again just to make him laugh. They ordered the same modest pasta they'd had on their first date, and they talked and laughed like they always did. After dinner, Alex reached across the table and took her hand. I have something to tell you, he said. Okay. That night we met, when you showed up in those sweatpants. He grinned at the memory. I knew within minutes that you were different. Not because of what you wore or didn't wear, but because you were fearlessly yourself. You weren't trying to impress me or win me over. You were just Maya. I was trying to scare you away, she reminded him. I know, and then you dropped everything to help Marcus. And I watched you comfort his mom. And I thought, this is what love looks like. Not the romantic comedy version, but the real thing. Showing up, caring, putting others first. He stood up, and Maya's heart started pounding as he came around to her side of the table. You've made me want to be the kind of man who deserves you. Who shows up? Who cares? Who puts you first? He knelt down, pulling a small box from his pocket. Maya Chen, will you marry me? Sweatpants optional, but always welcome. Through tears and laughter, Maya said yes. The wedding was small, just close friends and family. Maya's students made decorations, including a banner that read Mr. Alex and Ms. Chen forever, with marker drawings of both of them. Alex in a suit, Maya in sweatpants, which made everyone laugh. At the reception, Sarah pulled Maya aside. "I have to confess something," she said. "What?" "When I set you two up, Alex asked me to warn him if you were going to dress up. He specifically said he wanted to meet someone who would show up as themselves." Sarah grinned. "When I told him you were planning to wear your worst outfit, he was thrilled." Maya laughed, looking across the room where Alex was talking to Marcus and his mom, who they'd invited as guests of honor. "So we were both testing each other. And you both passed with flying colors." That night, as she and Alex left for their honeymoon, Maya still in her wedding dress and Alex in his suit, he handed her a gift bag. "What's this?" "Open it." Inside were the rattiest, most comfortable-looking sweatpants she'd ever seen, clearly expensive despite their deliberately worn-in look. "So you never forget," Alex said, "that the best version of yourself is the real one. The one who shows up in sweatpants. The one who drops everything to help a kid. The one I fell in love with at first sight." Maya kissed him, tears streaming down her face. "You know what the crazy thing is?" "What?" "I spent so long looking for someone who would love me at my worst. I never expected my worst would be exactly what made you fall in love with me." "It wasn't your worst," Alex said softly. "It was your most honest. And that's always been your best." They drove off into the night, and Maya thought about the strange journey that had brought them together. Two people so afraid of being loved for the wrong reasons that they'd both shown up determined to be as wrong as possible. And somehow, in their messiness and authenticity, they'd found something perfectly right. Sometimes the person who falls in love with you at your worst isn't settling. They're seeing something everyone else missed. The courage it takes to be genuinely yourself in a world that's constantly asking you to be someone else. The real love story isn't about finding someone who loves you despite your flaws. It's about finding someone who loves you because of your truth.